In this video, I will show you some structure of export. This is a very essential export structure. To repair from here, I have an export directory. I will export data to this directory. Right now, it is empty. In the first syntax, I will export the schema. Right here, I have a basic export command. As you can see, I have directory, I have dump file, I have a log file. Uh, Next, I will tie the schema in this line, or I can use escape command to go to next line. I will solve Oracle to export to schema HR and SQL. If you want to export more than one schema, you need to use the command. Then I execute this command with the sysdba. Now you can see we have this box. So in our screen, the table from HR and table from SQL schema. It shows us table and number of row and the size of table possible. So I try to check in our export directory. We have two files. One is a dump file and one is a log file. This log file is what we see on the first screen. We need to keep this log file to know what we this export in the dump file. So to export schema, we have the basic command, then we have the keyword schema, and next with the schema name. For the second command, we will try to export with something different. The basic command is almost same. So now I try to export some table in the schema, just some table in the schema. First table from here, I will export from schema HR, but I need to export just some table begin with G only. And you can see we have two tables begin with G, like job and history. Make sure you add the escape character before a double quotation mark and a single quotation mark. Now we will export a schema HR, but only the table which begin with G only. So we expect equal export job and job history begin with the G. So now it's same our expectation. It's export only the table begin with G only. Now we have HR job and HR job history. So this is structure for using include keyword. Now we have another structure they call exclude. We use for almost the same export command. Um, so now we don't use include, um, but we use exclude. So now we will exclude some table from the schema. So it means only the table with the different from employee and country will be export. Keep in mind that we should add the escape command before double quotation mark, single quotation mark. Because we use it in the Linux command line, so we need to add some escape command before some special character. So now on our table in HR schema or exporting, but we couldn't see country and employee because we exclude it from the export command. For the third structure, we will try to export the table and the structure of table only. Now we can use the keyword content. The content by default we will export all. It means we will export the metadata and data together. Uh, but from here I need to export only table structure, procedure, view for example. So I use the content metadata only, which means no data in this export command. In this example, I will export schema HR and SQL, but we need to export metadata only. We don't export any user data here. You can see it processed in table, column, structure, procedure, view, index. But we couldn't see any line for the table and the user data in the table. Then the number 4, we will try to export some table or some partition. We will try to use this basis export command with the keyword table. With this keyword, we will provide the table name or partition name. If we need to export more than one table or more than one partition, we need to select by the command. For example, here I have the script to show number of partitions in my database. We try to export some partition here. For example, from here in cell history, I have the cell table. In this table, I have some partition. This partition, I have some row here. So the first one I export the country, the second one I will export one partition in the shell history. So now we will execute this command. And you can see the export command export to table, exactly one table and one partition. The same number of row here, you can check. This is export with the keyword table. We will need to use this keyword to export one or more table or partition. Number 5, we will try to use the query. We will try to filter the data from our table or our schema. The first structure, I try to filter data from the schema SR. I will try to filter data from SR schema. From here, I use the where clause to filter with the department ID to 10 only. If you remember, we have some table in HR, but only field in this schema. In the field table in this schema, we have department ID. If we use the filter query like that, the filter clause will be applied to all table in this HR schema. This will be useful for you if you are in some database like data warehouse database. We have one column like transaction desk in on our table. This will be applied to all table in the schema. If you remember, only some table in our HR we have department ID column. For example, department or employee, it will be applied department ID and job history, for example. But for some other table, we don't have department ID, so it cannot export any row from those tables. But structures of those tables still export. Only table data we cannot export because that table we don't have department ID column. You can see it, the table structure already exported. So with that filter, we will apply to all table in our export command. In the next filter, we will try to filter data on each table. For example, here I will try to filter data from the HR employee table only. This structure I will export two tables, and for each table I will have different filter command. For example, here in the table employee, I will filter with the first name. We will try to filter with the first name begin with the K. For example, with this filter, we will have 6 rows. And in the second table, department, I will try to use another filter. For example, here I will filter department ID with the department ID like 10. So you can see we have two different filter on two tables. Now we execute this command. So now the command is completed. So for department ID equal to 10, we have one row because department ID is primary key. So we have only one row. For employee, we have 6 rows. We already tried this query. Last name begin with K, we have 6 rows. So in this, we will export 6 rows. So with this structure, we can export table with one filter for one table. For each table, we can apply for each filter. So this is on our result from the beginning of this video. For each file, we have one log file and one dump file. Make sure we always keep the dump file and log file together, so we will know what we this export